Welcome back to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, we're talking about not just one, but two coins because they're interrelated. These two coins are two of my favorite coins in the space right now. And it's actually, the space is expanding for it. So this is a project that could be considered a competitor to Ethereum. It has its own blockchain. It's got a secondary coin. It's going to have a third coin, which I'll talk about at the end. But this is a project called Theta and TFUEL. And those of you who follow the altcoinopoly back over the summer, this was my number one coin. There were number one two coin pairs. I put them at Boardwalk and Park Place appropriately, or coin or spaces on a board similar to that. The two dark blue spaces on the board for altcoinopoly were Theta and TFUEL. I'll say it that way. So this project's got a lot going for it. There's lots to go over in the news, lots of reasons to like where the space is going, both for potentially replacing the current version of the internet and also the new Metaverse that's coming as well. So let's cover the news and the charts, and then we'll go to my conclusion at the end. Just a quick reminder that nothing in this video is considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Seek out your own advice and do your own diligence, do your own research. So as you might imagine, Theta is a top project for me. Again, not financial advice. It's just my perception and my opinions only. But I could talk for a long time about Theta. I've been following this project since 2018. It's an interesting story, which I'll relate at the end of the video about how I came to be that I was aware of this project. But there's a lot going on with this project, and I'm just going to walk through as much as I can of it without making this video too long. So the first reason I want to mention Theta and TFUEL now is because they are launching Mainnet 3.0 in 31 days at the end of June. So you can do the math when I'm recording this. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm recording this TFUEL video. I found it to be important to get this out to everybody. So what is Theta? What is it all about? So back in 2017, there was a team behind what they called Sliver.tv at the time. That's now been rebranded to Theta.tv. That was looking to do more internet traffic and video. And they said that over 80% of all the internet traffic is going to be video by 2020. So these guys focused on building out. You got Steve Chen and Justin Kahn, both involved. They used to be involved in YouTube and Twitch. They understood that video on online services and that they needed a new network to support all of this. Hence, Theta and TFUEL. So this was back in 2017. So we started to get wind about that project about that time, and then that's where we learned about the Theta was what they were all about. Theta was a blockchain-based video delivery network. And they've been progressing the project ever since then. First there was Theta, then they announced the addition of TFUEL back in 2018, where they were basically, if you remember, it's probably not a good analogy of Napster, but think of everybody just sharing, just file sharing throughout the internet and just sharing bandwidth of just relaying videos to make everyone have more bandwidth and more video availability. This expands beyond video, though, because it could be actually the next generation of the internet itself, creating a distributed bandwidth platform, not just for video, but for all of data networks. So imagine everything that runs the internet now and going forward being running on a Theta network. So moving forward, here's 3.0, which comes out at the end of June. They delayed it. There was some concern in March or April when they delayed it out to June, but Theta's delayed. They delayed Mainnet 2.0 before, so it's probably not that big of a surprise that they delayed 3.0. But what this is going to allow, for one of the things it's going to allow, is that there's Theta and there's TFUEL. TFUEL is the secondary coin that was originally given out free to Theta holders back in 2018, I believe. But the TFUEL is the transactionary cost of moving Theta or moving things on the network. You can also be rewarded in TFUEL several ways, and they've added a new way, which is staking TFUEL. You can stake Theta and earn TFUEL, but now you can stake TFUEL itself and earn even more TFUEL. Back to the Sliver.tv. This is constantly running. Hopefully it's not going to make too much noise. I think I turn the volume down, but Theta.tv has a lot of different things that are available on their platform for you to watch, and you can watch and earn TFUEL on certain programs, and also relay that video sharing your own bandwidth to make afford people to watch this as well. That helps you to earn more TFUEL. You can even tip the video makers and the people who are making the content in TFUEL so they can earn TFUEL as well. And we'll get to this in a little bit, but one of the major partnerships they've struck was with the World Poker Tour. They've also worked with MGM Studios and several Fail Army. So they're constantly working on new partnerships for content. As far as Theta itself, they actually have 4 patents in the blockchain space about data streaming and delivery networks. So we've got, the first one was in 2019. They were, the micropayment supports, that's your Theta fuel tipping. And then, but they patented that application, and now they have the patent on decentralized data streaming and delivery networks, and also they furthered that with additional patents. And I've got a few articles here. I've got the second patent and the third patent. So high bandwidth, high transactions, micropayments, all patented by Theta for video delivery and data delivery. So think about that for a minute. Think about all the things that can be delivered on a new internet. If Theta becomes the new internet backbone, or that's the new platform that everybody's sending video, predominantly video, and this is the way that you have decentralized video and data delivery with micropayments, they own the patent on it. So anyone that tries to attempt to replicate this or to build upon this is going to have to work out a partnership and contribute to Theta because they own the patent. And similarly, in the third patent, it was peer discovery, more building on the same concept of data streaming and delivery network. So they've got several patents, which is huge. That this is intellectual property, huge that they can enforce this, that they can have this as part of their roadmap as they get to generation 3 of their network. Next comes the discussion. This is a very interesting topic, and not many people have gone down this rabbit hole yet, but I'm going to, and I think it's important for you guys to understand how important VR is to all this. Theta has partnered with Samsung VR. VR is a major contributor to the demand on the bandwidth for video. Right now, internet bandwidth is not there to support VR streaming, but they're trying to get there. Theta's architecture is going to allow the internet, as it grows, using the Theta platform, to be able to supply the data rates needed to do VR over the internet. Why do I know this? Why do I know that this is part of what they're doing? Look at the team. Mitch Liu is the CEO and co-founder at Theta Labs. Both him and his other partner, it's highlighted right down here. Mitch is the co-inventor and holds 4 patents in the video streaming, virtual reality, and blockchain space. He has been involved in virtual reality before Theta. So was his partner, I think that was Mr. Chen. So both these guys are deep into VR. They know the desire for VR and what it can afford in the entertainment space and also the gaming space. But they needed to build the platform to deliver that content. That's what Theta's all about. That's why Theta's going to be so big. Now, they're also striking more deals on not just the technology, but also content contributors. So here's the article from CoinDesk about Theta has what they call validator nodes. There's 15 validator nodes. The most recent one was located in Los Angeles. People were wondering who it was. It was just recently announced that Hollywood powerhouse CAA is joining with Theta. So who is CAA? CAA is a huge, they're the top talent agency in the U.S., and they're number one as far as talent. They have talent from music, television, movies, sports entertainment, a lot of big names. A lot of big names are on CAA. So that's a contributing factor. Now, who's number 2 on this list? And this is from a video that I took from Cryptos for All, which great video. It's a shorter video, but I didn't want to just play the whole video for you. I'll leave it in the content here. But I took a couple of screenshots from it. The second one that's biggest is United Talent Agency. Who's United Talent Agency? Well, they happen to be close tie to Sam Wick, who is the head of ventures at Theta. So now you have ties between not just CAA, but also United Talent Agency, all to Theta. So as you can probably imagine, the Theta team is looking at how to leverage their technology, which is part of what they've been doing recently, is NFTs. They've launched NFTs, and they just started putting out NFTs, like broadcasting the World Poker Tour, and also doing NFT drops. That was their first platform. They're doing NFT drops. So as they build up the NFT space, you can only imagine how all those talents and the agencies will want to capitalize on the very hot NFT market with all the entertainment people that they represent to launch NFTs on the Theta platform. And lastly, I just wanted to point out a few other validator nodes. There's 15 validator nodes for Theta, on the Theta network. You have to have 2 million Theta to launch a Theta node. Theta has about half of them, but Google, Sony, Samsung, Binance, Blockchain, I'm not familiar with Gumi. I don't know who that is exactly, but Theta has to approve you to become a validator node. So if you happen to have 2 million Thetas, which is a lot of money, it's like $15 million, even if you had that, you can't necessarily become a validator node. You have to get approval by the Theta network. So Theta has recently approved CAA because they want to strike a partnership. They want to start building these relationships with content stars, content providers, build the NFTs, and build out this network and create demand for this next generation network as they build eventually towards what's most likely to be a VR delivery platform and probably the next generation of the internet itself. So before I start to dig into TheTaFuel and Theta and the charting, I wanted to share something that was pretty interesting that someone observed on Theta. If you go to CoinMarketCap, you'll notice that there's a lot of categories top here. There's DeFi, there's NFTs, there's Metaverse, Polkadot, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, and so on. So if you happen to click on the Metaverse tab, an interesting thing happens. Decentraland, Axie Infinity, Sandbox, Engine Coin, Wax, all those make sense that they're here. Look at this one. Theta, considered a Metaverse coin. Interesting to note that because a lot of people have been saying that Theta could be the backbone to the Metaverse. So Theta is an interesting way to be a Metaverse play. So something to think about before we dig into the charts. So take a look at the monthly of Theta against Bitcoin. You can see that we've had a run up and a retrace. So if we just take a look at a Fibonacci retracement, I'm going to try and get this right for a change. It's still kind of upside down, but you can start to see that we pull back roughly 50% to this point. So if we call that a wave 1 and a wave 2, I'll reuse this chart again. Come over here, and you put this as the high point. Now your target would be the 2.6. Now this is Theta against Bitcoin. So right now Theta is 12,000 sats. We drop off the last zero because it's supposed to usually 8 digits. If I scroll down here, 3x, 36,000 sats. So Theta could be shooting up to 3 times as much. Let's look at that in terms of dollars. Now, I started to look at this earlier. We could see very much that we are really making a wedge here. This wedge is looking to break out. There's a big flag here and it pulled back. But again, if we look at this 50 point, and this is a 50% retracement, let's pull it back to say here. We're on a weekly. I could see the lines are about similar, but $25 to $27, and we're at $6.50 right now. So that is roughly a 4x from where we're at now. So that'd be a 3x against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin being in the Bitcoin is roughly in the, let's take a look here. Let's just go back. But Bitcoin's in the 50s right now. 54,000. So if Bitcoin just say went to 100,000, there would be a double, and then Theta could double against that. So I think Bitcoin could get ahead to like $80,000 before starting to stub its toe. I think there's going to be psychological barriers at the $100,000 line. So let's say Bitcoin goes up 50% to about 75,000, 80,000, and then Theta goes up 3x. You could be looking at that 3 to 4x and getting this 20 to 30 price range, or even higher. But there's a lot of upside for Theta. Now let's take a look at Theta Fuel. And again, none of this is financial advice. So Theta Fuel has a similar chart against USDT. Again, we could be looking at a pennant with a flag here. And we're at 30 cents right now against Bitcoin. How are we looking? Pull back with a retracement. So let's do that real quick. Fibonacci retracement from, say, here to here. I do it upside down. Give me a better picture. So go, that's a peak. Down to there. So, and we're at 560 sats. So if I was to say we're going to go to 2.6, 3589. So that's roughly a 6x. Let's call that 600 to 3600. That's a 6x against Bitcoin. The USDT version, it was 2 cents, skyrocketed to 60 cents, and pulled back. And it's in the 30s, so 60 to 30, get cut in half. So I'm just going to do a fib retrace there. I'll say here, to, again, upside down. So you can never remember which order this goes. So we go from there to say there. And I'll draw a 2.6 line. Again, $1. 75 cents to $1 from 30 cents, which is reasonable. That's like a 3x. So I think those are reasonable targets. Then you want to look again, when it gets to these targets, you want to look at it compared to Bitcoin, because we need to stop looking against the US dollar. We are leaving that system behind. At least that, in my mind, we are. Hopefully you're along for the ride with me. Not financial advice, of course, but if you're in the crypto space, you need to compare against Bitcoin. Otherwise, you would just buy Bitcoin. The entire purpose of being an altcoin is to outpace Bitcoin. So we're looking at potential 6x against Bitcoin and a potential 3x in US dollars. A lot of positivity here. And as far as the timing for Theta in the news, I think we're going to be seeing a nice bump in December when Katy Perry announces her NFTs in the Thetaverse, probably on Theta Fuel. So, or Theta, I'm not sure which platform technically she's going to be on, but it'll be a positive for Theta and Theta Fuel for sure. So that's the charts for Theta and Theta Fuel. And now let's go back and summarize the outlook for the coin, both coins. So there you have it, Theta and Theta Fuel, one of my favorite projects overall. And I didn't mention this in the video, but relatively new news came out this summer that there's going to be another project called TDROP. And what that is the third coin that's going to be given out based on staking for Theta and Theta Fuel. I think Theta Guardian nodes are earning TDROP equivalents that will be released in, I think, Q1, maybe March or April next year. That would be Q2. But I think if they're drawing a line sometime in February to give out the first airdrop of TDROP, which I think is going to be NFT related, but it's still to be determined what the use case is yet. But hey, when Theta Fuel was announced, before we even knew about it, those of us who got in early to Theta, we didn't know anything about T-Fuel. T-Fuel was like an airdrop out of nowhere, and it just like they gave us coins, and look what they turned out to be. They had some value to them because originally they were well below a penny. We had no idea if they were worth anything. So Theta seems to have their act together. It's also now connected to the metaverse. So they have the metaverse and the internet and VR, all these different things that Theta is involved in. It's hard to turn in any direction when looking at the Theta project and find an area that they're not in or is not attractive to be in. So lots of positivity for Theta and Theta Fuel. I think both of them have strong upsides, both in price wise and also in the blockchain space and building the internet and VR and all that good stuff. So metaverse as well. So there's plenty that's been said today. I hope you looked into this project. Obviously not financial advice. I hope you find the information useful. Make your decisions wisely and accordingly. Don't just take my viewpoint. I'm just one guy on the internet. Look at other options out there for other people with the information that they share. So I've said plenty today. Hopefully you find it all valuable and you take this information and use it wisely. But for now, I'm going to close the drawer in the bureau, and I'll see you next time. you.